6. Timeline events. So far, we've seen how to program a ShowNodes node to play back a timeline with audio, I/O, and DMX control. In this video, we'll take a look at Venue Magic events. If you're unfamiliar with timeline events, you might want to take a minute, or 5 of them, to review the Venue Magic Getting Started video number 20, which discusses timeline events. This tutorial builds upon all the work we've done so far in earlier videos and requires a ShowNodes show control node already connected to the network and initialized for our Venue Magic project. In this example, we're going to add an event to our timeline that starts another playback of itself. First, we'll add an event track to our timeline. Then we'll grab a run timeline event and drop it near the end. Open the event properties and set it up to play our timeline. Now, click on the ShowNodes tab, check the Target ShowNodes box, and then select My Node 1. This tells the event that this event is going to be sent to My Node 1, which happens to be the only node we have connected right now. It is possible for one node to start a timeline on another node, but we'll save that for later. Close the Event Properties box and open the ShowNodes Manager. Now do a build and upload. Before we run the timeline from the node by clicking on the Q button, we're going to make one little change. You may recall that we set up the Q button to play the timeline looped. Now that we have an event restarting it, we need to disable that. Also, go back to the ShowNode Manager, select My Node 1, then click on the Playback tab so we can see our timelines playing on the node. Now we'll click the Q button. You can see the timeline playing now. Just before the end of the timeline, a second copy of the same timeline starts running. That is our run timeline event kicking in, and the first one stops. This loop will continue until we tell it to stop. As you can see, my lamp fixture is still on. I can turn off my lamp by going into the ShowNodes Manager, double-clicking on the node and typing ZO, then hitting Enter. In addition to the Run Timeline event, these other events can also be executed by nodes. If you're not sure if an event can be executed by a node, simply open its Properties window. If you see a ShowNodes tab, then this event will run on a node. While we have it up, let's take one more look at the settings of the Run Timeline event. All of these settings will work as expected when run from the node. You can push the F1 key to get help if you're not sure what these settings are. The only difference is the foreground settings. Only option 1 is currently supported by ShowNodes. These other options are not currently available to nodes, but will be supported in the future. Crossfading is also not available at this time. This concludes our discussion of ShowNodes timeline events. In our next video, we will take events a little further and introduce you to the event table.